The following has been captured by a superintendent after a fire broke out in an old apartment complex. They were checking the lower floors for any residents that hadn't made it out of the building yet, but it turned out that everybody was outside on the streets at this point. This snapshot, however, says otherwise. The silhouette of a man in black appears in the background. The face looks transparent and really strange. Many believe this to be a being of paranormal nature, since nobody was in the hallway at the time, other than the two men. How do we explain this? Creepy for sure. The following clip has been shared by Mank, and this was apparently captured on a construction site of some sorts, and they caught something quite interesting in the distance, it reads. Let's take a look. Oh, what? Let's watch that again, guys. See? We don't see anybody there at the time. Also, it reads that there should not have been any bystanders, so the uploader speculated that this could be a kuntilanak, perhaps. Do you agree with that? The next video was uploaded by the Spanish channel Breakman, and it was a video submitted by one of his viewers. Apparently, their CCTV camera had captured quite the chilling event unfold. The factory they work in is said to be extremely haunted for a very long time already, and shadow people apparently can be seen ever so often. Today something really creepy unfolded in the back of the factory, and a security guard had noticed it. Yes, you see that right. A dark shadow arm seems to be coming out of the tiny door space to the right and moving along the door. This is most definitely impossible, not to mention the heavy weight of the door, which is taking one of the employees quite a bit of force to open. It's one of the many creepy encounters in this factory that is unfolding on the regular. How can we explain it though? The space between the frame and the door is so small that nothing could be slid through easily to fake this video. So what's your explanation for this? More than a little bit unsettling, I find, and thanks again to Breakman for sharing this encounter with us. Now we want to take a look at one of Ken's recent videos, in which he's sharing an event that took place during an investigation by another paranormal team, which was visiting the Lamb House to conduct their own little paranormal investigation. The basement is filled with tons of negative energy, as I can attest myself, and the air always feels thick. One of the female investigators is trying to contact whatever is living down there.
Are you guys down here?
Ah!
What's the matter?
Something just hit the back of my leg.
Are you guys down here?
Ah!
Janice thought a rock was thrown at the back of her leg. After carefully looking over the recordings, nothing hit the back of her leg. Nothing landed on the floor behind her. But right before the back of her leg was hit, we see something in the recording that is quite troubling. A skull face with deep dark eye sockets.
Something seems to have touched her leg, and it almost looks like a face is peeking through the floor here, doesn't it? Is it actually the same shadow entity that was peeking from behind the staircase one day? Shortly after the lady had been touched, one of the stationary cameras also captured this.
Do something. Push me. Play with my hair. Okay? Come on. Oh! Something push me. Oh! Something push me. Holy! That was 10 times the force I felt.
A black shadow is making it into the hole, not to be seen again for the night.
There are some who question the validity of these Lamb House encounters and underestimate the reality of these spirits. I warn people who come to the Lamb House, do not provoke these spirits. When I first started these investigations, I too underestimated what would happen if these spirits were provoked. I learned by my mistakes not to provoke these spirits. And you don't always know what you're dealing with in this basement. This is not the first time a strange anomaly has been captured in the Lamb House. This exact entity has appeared before.
Again, was it the same thing that had touched her leg? Very creepy indeed. This TikTok was shared by Nicoleton711, who is working on different film sets, and in this case, it was a set for Warner Brothers, and she gives us a little tour.
So this is the stage where they filmed The Conjuring, and here's the hole in the stage that we made, but they also had one in The Conjuring, and a paranormal investigator actually went down here and investigated and heard her name being called, and it's really creepy.
It is believed that Nicole didn't notice it at the time, but a pair of glowing eyes seemed to pick out, right at her. It's not really clear what it could be. Maybe just some exposed metal that is reflecting, or something more sinister. A bus ride, in most cases, is nothing to be afraid of. It might be different in today's situation, but in general, it is unusual to come across any mysterious events in there, right? In the following clip, a bus driver notices that something seems to be off. Clearly, all passengers had left the bus at that point. Just to make sure, he documents that. When he checks the security monitor of the CCTV camera in there, there seems to be something else with him though. A ghostly passenger. Is it just a light anomaly? Or at what are we looking at here? See how this apparition is wearing some kind of fanny pack even. I'm not sure. Or is it wearing some sort of short pants? This could also be possible. One thing is for sure. This passenger was not on the bus at the time, at least not in this realm. It is said that he never found out what exactly had caused this image, but I say it's really unsettling. The following capture was taken by Night Guard in Mexico and shared by Pasillo Infinito. The Night Guard states that many of the staff are talking about really weird sightings that they come across, particularly in the midst of night in this old hospital. Even ghostly patients can be seen ever so often, roaming the hallways, although people are generally not supposed to be there that late at night. It's really strange, but if you look closely, you can see a torso coming out of the floor, which is obviously not possible. The security guard is pretty sure that we are seeing a spirit here, or at least something non-human. But what do you think? I have certainly no explanation for this. JC has sent in the following clip, which is a bit older, but still extremely creepy. The description reads, possibly a ghost apparition was caught on tape. This week, during a visit to the old World War II tunnels, the camera started to go crazy and was malfunctioning at the lower levels of the tunnels. Strange EVPs were caught on tape during the filming. These tunnels are not open to the public. This week, a small group of engineers were sent into those old World War II tunnels. The deepest part of the tunnels is approximately 1,500 feet into the ground and can be reached via several steps and wooden slides leading to the bottom. These tunnels were used for mining purposes before the World War. So, are we seeing a real ghost here from the olden days? Or is this just a video trick? The following videos were found by user Heaven Sung, and he states that he uncovered this interesting case on Maximum Disclosure. Heaven told me that the following incidents took place in the residence of a man who, after moving into a new place, had the feeling that not everything was quite as normal as it seemed at first. For the first week there was nothing wrong with the house. However, for whatever reason, the man could hear some weird banging noises that could be heard through several rooms of his house. Thinking it was the neighbors at first, the man simply hoped that these renovations wouldn't go on for many more days. One night though, he woke up to another loud bang and saw a shadow standing in front of his bed. This terrified him so much that he kept the little nightlight on for the following nights. And things only got stranger by the day. He swore that he could see more and more of these strange shadows, even during the day. He saw them walking around in the house when nobody else was there. Really creepy apparently. At some point, the man mounted several cameras up in the house to see if he could capture any of this activity. Then, the following was uploaded on his profile. What appears to be the shadow of a man can be seen, walking into the room and then vanishing towards the bed. Really strange. Could this be a reflection from somewhere else? It's possible. Maybe from the window. Thing is, this bedroom didn't have a window. However, in the end, we can't really find a real answer to it. There's still all these weird events that transpire in his house. The man thought the same and wanted to capture more proof that these shadow sightings were not just make-believe or easily explainable by any kind of reflection. On one of the following nights, he captured another corner of his bedroom and placed the camera towards the bed and his dressing mirror, which were standing right next to it. When he came back to check the footage later, he saw this. Another large shadow figure that steps into the frame, but it can only be picked up in the mirror. Really mysterious, isn't it? If this isn't just a setup, possibly staged by the owner, we really have to ask ourselves here, what could be the reason for all these sightings? Could it be a former owner perhaps? Or is it something completely different? This video is from Jose and depicts a father who was playing with his 2 kids in their family home. These 2 boys were clearly having fun together, and it is not known if the house they were currently located at was infamous for having any unusual encounters happening in the past. When they watched the video afterwards, they got pretty spooked. Looks like it's sinister. This video stems from Diane, the canning Nana, and she shared it with the internet because apparently she caught something really terrifying one night. In general, she posts videos about cooking and traveling. She starts explaining in her description. So, totally unrelated to any content I have ever done. We found this today on our living room camera at 2 AM in the morning. Very clearly a woman. Even Noah, our cat, saw her. You can see his eyes near the end of the video. I'm sensitive to feeling spirits of family members. I've been saying for months I feel a spirit here I do not recognize. You tell me what you all think. To us it looks like an older woman with long hair. Whatever is roaming through the living room seems to be a pretty small statue. Do you see the shape of a lady? Whatever it might be. If it's not a member of the family, it must have been a terrifying discovery. This video was forwarded by Phoenix11 and found on the Dark Dimension. The user told me that, yet again, we are looking at an older VHS recording that was taped by a real estate agent. The former owner, an elderly man, had passed away recently in this house. The family had put the house up for sale after this. The agent stated that the camcorder had never malfunctioned in the past, but this night there seemed to be a lot of glitches that appeared on the tape. There were also noises that sounded like screams in the background. Really weird, but the scariest thing was what happened after the camera filmed down from the first floor towards the living room. We clearly can see somebody sitting there, but nobody else was with the agent. So how was this possible? And then, in this malfunction, it looks like a creepy face appears on the video material. Was it the former owner, perhaps? Charizard has shared the following chilling capture on Reddit. She was on an urban exploration trip with her friends that day, and they ventured to the Hellfire Club in Dublin on Montpellier Hill. The young woman noticed something really odd in one of her images that she took in there. She states, "I swear it's not edited, since I don't know anything about Photoshop or photo editing. I just thought the photos were very interesting and something that people here might like to see." The EMF meter was going mad at that point. On the first photo, we don't see much. On the second one, however, that was captured just seconds after, there's something strange. Some people say that this could be a hand that might have belonged to somebody from another time. Is that possible? If not paranormal, what else could it be in your opinion? A mysterious capture for sure. The following is an eerie CCTV recording which was captured in a hospital in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and it was all over the news. At 3:30 in the morning, a receptionist can be seen getting out of the chair and, based on his reports, greeting an elderly woman that was coming through the door. And we do in fact notice how the automatic door is opening. The unsettling part, however, is that there is no trace of anybody entering. The man walks towards the entrance, detaches the security tape, and writes down the patient info. After finishing up, he seems to let the invisible person pass through and guides them towards the back of the hospital. Only moments later, another CCTV camera captures how the same receptionist is getting a wheelchair, which is stored right next to the elevators. He offers it to the invisible lady, but is seemingly getting rejected, causing him to return the wheelchair. As the hours go by, the man is wondering if the elderly woman got picked up after losing sight of her for quite some time. After checking, the hospital staff told him that they have not admitted anybody around that time and that nobody saw the elderly lady he was speaking of. They checked the patient registration and, get this, it turns out that the info belonged to a woman who had deceased the day prior. So, was the man talking to a ghost here? How scary. Chris has uploaded the following video, which is quite an interesting one. He states, "This is a video straight from a colleague's home security system. There is what appears to be some sort of orb at the bottom of the screen, which turns into a light. And at the top of the screen, you can see what appears to be a transparent figure walking through the fence. What do you guys think is going on here? Are we seeing some paranormal activity unfolding? Most people think that this was not caused by bugs in front of the camera. So, what was it then? This has been posted by a user named Lurk, and his video features what he believes to be an UFO sighting up in the sky, and it left many viewers baffled to say the least. Well, it doesn't appear to be a drone, and a kite also might not be the answer that we are looking for here. Does this object have a tail that is made out of fire? I feel it certainly looks like it though. But maybe there is a better explanation for it, a more rational explanation. Please share your insights with me. Lurks didn't know what got captured that day, and I understand that he might be a little bit confused. Is it something mysterious? This video was uploaded by paranormal enthusiast and ghost hunter Tim Morozov. Tim regularly visits known haunted and abandoned locations, and in this episode he's visiting an abandoned village that apparently was discovered a few years ago by some hunters while they were in the area. Apparently, there were sightings of a woman in white in this village by a few people.
Боковым зрением.
Tim has explored all the houses, and the one he visits today apparently has the strongest paranormal activity out of them all.
Там есть кто-нибудь?
As Tim is setting up his equipment, he captures this strange apparition in the doorway behind him. A strange ghostly shadow moves quickly across the back room. Could this be the spirit of the woman in white? It certainly looks pretty creepy to me, whatever we are seeing here on camera. Now we want to take a look at some updates from user Dude My House is Haunted. The couple has been living in a haunted house for quite some time, until this June. They were forced to leave their home after all the paranormal activity got a bit too much and dangerous for them. The uploader always said that he was never sharing these encounters for clout, but to seek help. Apparently the activity got worse and worse the more he was sharing these encounters on the internet. For whatever reason, the woman got attacked multiple times in this house, wanting her never to return to this place. They currently only return to move all of their belongings out of the house. The following, however, was one of the last and pretty concerning encounters the couple was facing at the time.
Babe, can you make me something to drink? I got a little bit left. What flavor do you want? Terrible. Hey. Yeah. Hey. No.
This was one of the most frightening experiences for the couple, resulting in an injury. Shortly before that, a strange shadow might have shown itself in the office of the uploader as well. After moving into his son's house, the man is sharing another video after receiving a ring notification from his old house that is still hooked up to the security system.
Hey everyone, I just want to let everyone know that Eb and I are okay. We're staying at my son's house. We've been there for weeks now. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to stay there, but I was going to go tomorrow to the house to pick up some stuff that we desperately need, and I get this weird ring notification, and I'm at a loss for words.
What do you think is going on in this house? Certainly something malevolent, no doubt about it. This is really one of the more creepy cases we have heard of lately, isn't it?